Hey everybody, this is Perch. Before we get to the mail, a couple, corrections. I don't know if this is correct. I mean, it's a correction, but also not a correction. I don't know. A couple things. First off, the new Rogan Gambit comic has been reported by some places as Tini Howard, which is what I passed through because that was the initial summary that came out of New York City Comic Con, but is more places Stephanie Phillips. So which is the correct answer? Stephanie Phillips is the correct answer if we're to believe Marvel. Now, granted, Marvel does a lot of stupid shit on a regular basis, and sometimes they definitely do screw up their own solicitations. They do that all the time, but they're saying Stephanie Phillips, so correction, it is not the year of Tini Howard. It's just somewhat the year of Tini Howard. She's going to have to, basically comfort herself with the fact that she's doing a Captain Britain book, a Catwoman book, a Harley Quinn book, and a couple other random things for the big two, and working with Jonathan Hickman on his Substack, which I'm sure somebody is reading. That's not well, you know what? That's a shot however you want to fucking take it. Anyway, that's more of a shot on Substack where everything seems to be going to die, but I'm sure it's all fine. Anyway, that's one correction. The second is that the speculation is still odds-on favorite that that's Doctor Strange in Hickman's stuff, but the artist is saying, no, we're not doing Doctor Strange. But the characters certainly look like Doctor Strange, so we'll see. We'll see where that all nets out. If you're going to post something that looks exactly like Doctor Strange and say it's not Doctor Strange, I mean, okay, whatever. Let's get to a question here, but now we've got that out of the way. And it's about Tini Howard, as it turns out. So it says, question, Dear Perch, hope your recovery continues to go well and that you keep having Joe on. I was wondering, does Tini Howard represent a good investment for DC and Marvel at this point? Do her comics sell? I personally have not enjoyed any of her comics that I've read, though I'm not deeply into her catalog because of that lack of enjoyment, but it feels like both Marvel and DC are really interested in courting her as potentially the next A-list writer. But do the books she writes really justify such courtship in terms of sales? No, not in terms of sales. So why are they? Well, first off, are they really going after Tini Howard? So keep in mind that Tini did Excalibur and then did Knights of X, and Knights of X was canceled pretty quickly. And then they have her doing not Rogan Gambit, but Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain 5-issue series, and they're not really announcing anything else with Tini. So I don't know that if that's really trying to make her an A-lister. It's a pretty shit place to be an A-lister. I would say that Kelly Thompson and, Donnie Cates and Jason Aaron and Dan Slott all have a better lock on that. Marvel keeps finding new works for them. But, I'm not seeing that. Over in DC land, yeah, she's doing Catwoman and she's doing Harley Quinn. But Harley Quinn is kind of a revolving door of people at this point, and nothing's really sticking. And it feels like we're headed toward that kind of point in Harley Quinn where they're like, you know what, let's just stop doing comics here for a little while and let her cool off before we, or rather get some interest up, because it's got the Deadpool effect where Harley Quinn is slowly becoming like don't buy territory. But that's my point of view. And Catwoman doesn't sell that well, and I don't know how long she'll be on that title either. But her titles tend to sell sub 40K, a couple of them sub 30K. So no is, I guess, a short answer. Now, why do people court Tini Howard? That's maybe the better question. Well, it's clearly because of her political ideology and statements that she's bisexual, but maybe she's not, because she's dating or married to a guy, as far as I know. But she gives the illusion that no, it's actually none of those. That's all. It's all true, but. No, I don't think it has anything to do with those things. I think that Tini Howard is easy to work with. And, let that sink in for a moment. Believe it or not, when I talk to editors, when I talk to people at the company, they say Tini Howard gets scripts in on time, formats them in a way that is easy for the rest of the team to understand, engages well with the editors, doesn't throw weird temper tantrums, doesn't... write and post stuff that talks about, death to all Republicans or anything that tends to be. And people forget about that, by the way, with Tini is, there's a lot of people, Doc just hates Tini to all ends. But if you look at Tini's Twitter and that kind of stuff, there's not the hot takes that some of her peers and other people in comics have. It's pretty benign. And just hasn't really gotten involved in any of that stuff. And so you kind of check down the list. It's like, doesn't really create a lot of unnecessary drama anywhere, gets scripts in on time, works well with the team, takes editors' notes without, calling them a bitch, more or less, turns things around fast, and pitch for products, for projects quickly and efficiently, shows up, gets work done, doesn't demand a lot in the process. That's the reputation of Tini Howard. And, I think that, what would be nice is, turns in books that sell really well and have high quality. But Tini Howard was brought kind of to the table, had been doing other things. And then, Jonathan Hickman really, put a lot of muscle between Tini to get her as part of the launching X-Office team. And Tini did a good job of kind of ingratiating herself to the company and working well with editorial. And, showing up for kind of, conferences and, kind of being an ambassador that the company thought was, good. And, they're like, keep working with Tini. And they did. And they have. And DC's like fishing around for new people. And they're like, oh, there's somebody who wrote for the X-Office. And the X-Office got a lot of hype and promotion. And those names got a little bit more marketing buzz than others. And, Tini gets shit done on time, you say, and tends to work well with others. All right. Well, let's bring in Tini. That's it. So from what I've heard from a lot of people, Tini is a pleasure to work with. And keep in mind, same people have said things like Vita is a pain in the ass to work with. And, and various others. So this isn't like the editors all just like certain types of people. No, I mean, several of the people that all the online, fans and the people on Twitter complain about are also, the editors also complain about these people, of being annoying, of being tough, about, wanting money, about, creating chaos, about saying they're going to do one thing, then doing another thing. I mean, for what it's worth, I don't think Vita doesn't have a absolute trash reputation, but definitely more than one person has said that Vita is complicated and irritating to work with and causes a headache. I've heard that from multiple people inside of comics, not Twitter fans, but people inside of comics. That's been somewhat the reputation. By contrast, in most cases, Leah Williams has been said to be, fairly okay to work with. Every now and then, says things online that they wish she didn't. And every now and then, tends to bite the hand that feeds her, in the sense of Leah will make a comment about, the company not doing something that, is the company doesn't like. I know Marvel's definitely got a little bit of irritation at Leah for that reason, but they not enough to blacklist her, just, wish she didn't say things that caused the editors and in their minds anyway, not even saying whether it's true or not, their minds harm. So if you are able to come in and be a creative for a comic company and more or less, show up with good behavior, get your shit done, and, take a check and move on, then, you keep getting work. That's more or less how it works. And that's been effective. So anyway, that's kind of where it's at. I wish I had a better answer, but it's not the sales. No, sales definitely are not there. The buzz isn't terribly there. Although even with that, I mean, there's a number of review sites and other people that, give Tini glowing reviews and hype up her books more, in large part because Tini, seems to work hard to have a good reputation with those sites as well. So, I mean, I guess the summary and the answer there is, hey, if you're nice to others, then, it tends to pay off for you. So maybe that's a good idea for people in the future. Just saying. Anyway, thanks very much for the mail. By all means, let me know how I'm wrong in the comments below. People have been doing that lately. It's like, your opinion is wrong. The earth is flat. Like, okay, I'm passing along what I've heard. For what it's worth, I have certainly never hired Tini to do anything, so I have no idea what she is like to work with. But your mileage may vary. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and thanks for listening.